Gia Carangi, one of the most iconic models of 80s and 90s. Actually, some people knew her as one of the first supermodels, first modern supermodels of history, and she lived a glamorous life. She had everything that so many models and famous people want from Vogue, but it never lasts. She just died when she was 26 years old, and no one from the fashion industry even attended her funeral. But what was her last words? Why was her life so sadly tragic? Why she died when she was 26 years old? Just watch the full video to find out, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get notified as I post new videos. Let's get into it. When I say actually the word supermodel, some people think of so many girls on this board because there might be so many beautiful girls and models who have had this prestigious title. Some people point out to Kate Moss, Giselle, but the question is, who was the first supermodel of the history, And this question sparked debate in some people. Some people say that it was Lisa Fonsagrave. Some people say it's Janice Dickinson, and some point out to Gia Carangi as one of the first modern supermodels. Gia rose to fame in late 1970s. What was special about her was that she had this emotion expressions, her natural charisma, her natural appearance. She stand out in the beauty, and she was an icon in fashion industry. She graced every major cover magazines like Cosmopolitan, like Vogue, and literally she rocked, okay? But behind this fame, behind all of that, it was a heartache, it was a hardship life. Gia's childhood was traumatic. Gia Mary Carangi was born on 29th January 1960 in Philadelphia from a Italian descent father, Joseph. He was a restaurant owner, and her mother, Kathleen, which had Irish and Welsh descent, and she was a homemaker. But, her childhood is affected by two major events. The first one is that when she was just 5 years old, she was sexually assaulted by a man, and this deeply traumatized her life, and she was deeply hurt by that. And then after that, it was her parents' marriage, which was a turbulent stuff. Sometimes they had so many arguments, and sometimes even violence. And when Gia was 11, her mother left the family, and she left little Gia without the support and the care she needed. Then Gia turned to music and punk. And when Gia was in high school, she went to Abraham Lincoln High School, and she started actually becoming fascinated with this David Bowie and David Bowie kids. Those were kids who just copied this eccentric style, and this was the beginning of the rebellious phase of her life when she started experimenting with illegal substances. And then when she was 17 years old, I think it was 1978, that she started working at some nightclubs, which eventually led her to her modeling career, because she was just right there discovered by Maurice Tannenbaum, who was a local photographer and hairstylist, and he eventually just discovered Gia Carangi. He immediately spotted the girl from the crowd and took her to New York City to start her modeling career. When Gia Carangi went to New York City, she had a meeting with legendary fashion agent Wilhelmina Cooper, that she immediately signed her because she was fascinated with her unique looks. She was a bold contrast to the conventional beauty standards of that time, in a fashion world that was dominated by blonde women and blue-eyed, women and models. Gia was something special. Stood out with her unfiltered look and the willingness to take risks, And one of her first photo shoots involves her posing nude and behind a chain fence, and this shoot led to actually modeling gigs for her to top brands like Versace and Dior by 1979. A year into her career, Gia was already in top covers and in top brands, and She actually, by the time she was 18, she was earning $100,000 a year, and it was more than any other models of that time. Even at the peak of her fame, Gia often felt alone. The absence of her family affection and childhood trauma and deep inner loneliness actually got her and haunted her. To cope, she passed her time in clubs, doing illegal substances, and started cocaine. And in 1980s, Gia's life took a turn for worse because when her agent, the legendary Wilhelmina, died, and her mentor, she was her agent, she was her mentor, passed away. She was like a mother to Gia, And then her death left her heartbroken, traumatized, deeply hurt. This time she turned to drugs even worse than before. It was just affecting her career. She became unpredictable. She left shootings for buying drugs. She fell asleep in front of camera. 1980, Gia left Wilhelmina Models and joined Ford Models, and she was dropped within weeks because of her behavior, And her career was falling apart. And people in fashion world never wanted to talk to her because they were afraid to risk their own career because of talking to Gia, Fight her addiction, Gia returned to Philadelphia, and in February 1981, she moved in with her mother and her stepfather, and she entered a 21-day rehab, or I don't know, detox program, but sadly it was unsuccessful. And in late 1981, despite struggling with drug use, Gia was determined to get back to her modeling career, revive her modeling career, and signed in with elite models. And, by the end of 1982, only a few clients were willing to work with her. Gia realized her dreams were slipping away. She left New York City in 1983. Her addiction had taken over her life. All of her money went to drugs. She eventually had to do other jobs in order to just survive, and pay for more drugs even. In December 1984, Gia entered Eagleville Hospital for an intensive drug rehab program. She stayed sober for almost 7 months, and during this time she went to a clothing store. She worked there, but in 1985, Gia was again in drugs. She also had turned into prostitution in Atlantic City in order to, support her addiction. And in December 1985, she went to the hospital with bilateral pneumonia. And then a few days later, she was diagnosed with something horrible. She was diagnosed with AIDS. And in the fall of 1986, another horrifying incident occurred. Gia was brutally beaten and leading to another hospitalization. Tragically, 1 month later, Gia died alone, and only when she was 26 years old. And sadly, no one from fashion industry attended her funeral. Her funeral was very small. Only her relatives just came in. And however, in her final moments, Gia's mother stayed by her side and maybe fulfilled her childhood dream that she wanted her affection from her mother, and it just maybe happened that time. Gia's story deeply hurt me because I think if there was just someone that she could talk, maybe someone who could help her, someone who can stay by her side, maybe the whole story would have been changing. Maybe it had took a turn and, I don't know, led her to somewhere which she was now alive, and she couldn't face those horrible stuff alone. And okay, now for you, what do you think about our story? Write me in comments and tell me who want me to cover for you, and which model or which famous person should I upload next. Thank for your time, and au revoir.